Hey, Peter.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How about you? I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I got a question that I think you're especially suited to answer. I've got a lot of friends who I know very well, who are very well educated, highly intelligent people. They're very well off, but they're all very, very, very liberal, and they're all Jewish. And I was wondering if you could explain why that happens so often.
Yeah, Jews as a voting bloc vote Democratic in a greater number than blacks. Right? Everybody talks about, the blacks, they always go Democrat. Well, there are more black Republicans as a percentage than Jewish Republicans. So obviously, probably the rarest thing to find is a black Republican, black conservative. And when I find them and I run into them, and there's a few of them, I got a lot of respect for them. But I can certainly tell you why. And most of the people in my family, with the exception of my father, are liberal, are Democrats. And and so when you're Jewish and your relatives are Jewish, and of course my father used to argue with his family all the time, particularly his sister's husbands. I mean, everybody was Jewish. In fact, it was a Democrat. In fact, when people first found out that my mother was marrying, because she introduced was marrying a Republican, they assumed, okay, at least he's a Rockefeller Republican. This is back in the 1960s, and they found that he was a Goldwater Republican. It was, oh my God, it was like he was Adolf Hitler, reincarnated in my father's body. But anyway, look, stay on the line because Welcome back, and I am talking to Matt in Atlanta on line 6 about why Jewish people are so liberal. And here's my take on it. And, of course, I can only guess as to why. I think it's a combination of guilt and a desire to be liked. Jewish people have been discriminated against for hundreds of years. There have always been a lot of anti-Semitism. And so Jews are very sensitive to that. And, they want people to like them. I mean, we're a small minority, but we want to appear, we want the majority to like us, to feel kindly about us. And the liberal philosophy of just giving out money to the poor, giving out money to the hungry, it makes them seem like they're better people, that they care, that they care about other people, rather than trying to have a more principled stance and have to explain why all these government programs actually hurt the people that they're claiming to help. It's much easier to show how much you care by show how much you support all these causes. And of course, there is, one of the raps on the Jews is, the Jews are cheap, right? We're cheap. Well, this is a way to show that we're not cheap. We're in favor of all these government programs. But of course, generosity has to do with giving away your own money, not stealing somebody else's money and giving it away. And I think part of it is guilt. I think Jews in general as an ethnic group have been very successful monetarily. And if you feel guilty that you're successful, that you want to give back. And I have no problem with people being charitable with their own money. The problem is trying to be charitable with somebody else's money at a gunpoint. At gunpoint. So, I mean, that's what I think. I mean, you've got a very successful minority group. And they want the overall majority to view them kindly, to think well of them, to be liked. I think, that's one of the reasons I think so many celebrities, because they're so rich, they make so much money that, if they were, they want to show that how much they care about other people. And the way to show that they care is to be, in favor of all these liberal causes, despite the fact that they actually do harm. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I follow what you're saying. I guess I'm still a little baffled because I seem to be getting that you think that they're that it's at least a little disingenuous.
Well, some of it. I mean, the expression limousine liberal. I mean, there are a lot of people who on the surface appear very liberal, but not the way they run their lives. Look, I have clients, I don't want to name names, who are liberal Democrats, but these guys do everything they can to reduce their own taxes. I mean, when you look at, I need tax losses, what can I sell? I don't want to pay this profit. I mean, some of the people who are the most in favor of high taxes on everybody else are doing everything they can to lower their own taxes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess, but what surprises me a little bit is like, in their rhetoric and arguments, with some of my friends, they don't, they're very steadfast.
Yeah, like as I said, look, it's very easy. The easy way is to be liberal, right? Because if you're liberal, people are going to like you, right? If you're conservative, now you have to defend your statements. Like when I say that, I think it should be legal for employers to discriminate based on race. Now, that statement is going to incite so many people, but the reason that I am against laws that ban discrimination is because I know the laws result in more discrimination. And it's because I don't like racially based discrimination that I don't want to ban it. But it's so much easier for the liberal to say, oh, it's terrible, let's ban it. I'm going to show how much I'm against discrimination by voting for laws that ban it, despite the fact that the laws actually make it worse. But you have to appeal. The conservative appeal is to intellect, is to the brain. The liberal appeal is to the emotion. And that's easier. I mean, that's why a lot of liberals actually think conservatives are mean, right? They think that they don't care. How could you be against this? See, conservatives don't think liberals are mean. We just think they're ignorant or they're misinformed or they're dumb. So we never think they're bad people. But the liberals always think the conservatives are bad people because they don't take the time to think it through. It's all emotional.
Yeah, like Ronald Reagan said, it's not that our liberal friends are stupid. It's just that they know so much that isn't so, or something like that.
Yeah, and look, Albert Einstein, obviously a brilliant man, was a liberal. He was probably even a socialist. So sometimes when you focus so much of your brilliance on a certain thing, you don't give that much attention to economics, and you just do what's popular. You just do what's emotionally appeals to you because all of your intellect is focused on science or medicine or something else. And then when it comes to politics, you just take the easy way out.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of expected like a successful minority, like you said, to be highly educated and highly intelligent, and therefore to be able to overcome the
No, it doesn't happen. Believe me, and I've had many an argument with my family members. I mean, as I said, my father and me. I think now I got my cousin Mike, who runs Euro Pacific Precious Metals, who's a conservative Republican, but he had a lot of influence from my father too. How my father, who was raised a Roosevelt Democrat in a very, very liberal environment, somehow managed to become an Austrian libertarian, real staunch Barry Goldwater supporting, Reagan supporting conservative. I really give my hats off to him because I didn't have that impediment. I was born into a family of Republican Jews, and so I had a much easier path. Anyway, thanks for your call. We'll